We have a great show lined up for you today. Before we get started, I'm going to give you a moment to push click, like, share with some friends, find a creative and tag them. Come on in the room with us. While you're doing that, I'm going to tell you a little bit about our episode 6 that's coming up. We're doing a segment on the voice behind the voice, which features former or present background vocals from recording artists. If you missed previous episodes, then you can catch them on my Stevvi YouTube channel and my website, which is www.stevvipatrice.com. And while you're there, please take a moment to sign up for my email list and stop at the store and make a purchase or two with some music and merch, which will be greatly appreciated because us artists, independent artists, we need people like you because we can't do what we do without you. So for those who have supported the artistry of Stevvi Patrice, I'm so grateful for you. And if you are currently following me on all social media platforms, I appreciate that as well. So again, thank you and a shout out to you. One more shout out to those joining us on YouTube Live. Welcome. Thank you for hanging out with us. And if y'all could do me a favor and click like and subscribe, that would be amazing because I'm really trying to build that platform out as well. Oh, wow. So let's get into, maybe I should take a breath, huh? What you think? Yeah, that might be good. You do that too. My guest is doing it. That is hilarious. I could hear her in my ears. Y'all can't hear her, but I'm excited about today's guest. She is one of the most prolific voices in the music industry, and she acts too, which I didn't know the baby could act too. Okay, she been getting her entire her entire life. But let me get back to the subject at hand. She's blessed to be able to fuse all of what she does together in a unique way. We'll get into the acting in a minute, but right now, take a look at this clip. Please join me in welcoming my special guest, Stevvi Alexander. Come on in the creative room, baby love.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Stevvi.
Child, it's been like forever, and I'm gonna need you to still not look the exact same.
I don't know about that, but
yes.
Oh, you look amazing. Like neither one of us are playing.
No, no, not when we have Jesus. Amen. We don't play when we have Jesus. To God be all the glory for His glory on you and on me. Mm-hmm. Hello, it pays to serve, don't it, huh?
Hey, I know.
Well, I know that I would love to hear about what you've been doing lately, but I want people to get to know you a little bit. Can you tell us where you grew up and give us, how you started and all that? That would be amazing.
Absolutely. A little backstory. I'm born and raised Southern California.
Okay.
When I tell people I'm from LA, I also follow it with a "Don't judge me," which is silly because why would you? But sometimes people like to hate on LA. But I'm born and raised LA. I am the daughter of a pastor. I was raised on the pew of a Pentecostal church my whole life.
Come on now.
And we had good church.
Yeah, good church.
Yeah, so I've been singing and doing choirs my entire life. And sang in choirs all through high school. Got a record. We'll get into it. Got a record deal in college.
Yeah.
And went from there.
We could do choir in church because you just found out or remembered, because I remember seeing you in passing, and I was like, I went to your church, Shield of Faith, for a little while. And you were like, wait, what? That's your mom and dad's church.
I just couldn't even believe that we were connected in that way after all these years, and I didn't know it. And the reason for that is because our our mother church is in Pomona, but there
Right.
are satellite churches throughout the world, and Pasadena was the second church that we reestablished after Pomona. So yeah.
Hey, Johnson.
Hey, Elder Ricky. I love me some Ricky Johnson.
Yeah, the family's amazing.
They are
Absolutely amazing.
Great people.
I love them. So let's get into Columbia Records. Tell me about that, honey.
So you do remember that?
I do, because we were at 56, baby.
We sure
Studio
were.
We were trying to get them deals, baby. We were there to live the dream.
Me, Cherie,
Studio 56.
Edmondson, and Keith Crouch and Kid.
Yes, all of us. We were down there.
All of
the
us.
whole crew.
Yeah. Dorian and yeah.
Dorian, Nora.
Yep.
Jimmy Abney, God bless his soul.
Yeah, R.I.P. Jimmy.
Mm-hmm.
Albert Willis.
Albert. Yeah, hey, Albert. Wait, I gotta call Albert back.
Cherie, you said mm-hmm.
I did, child, because Albert is dope. I don't know. Did you get a chance to hear Albert's music, girl? I demoed like a gang of songs for him. He is the most slept on.
No, for sure.
Producer,
underrated,
like just a genius. Like
absolutely. Well, him and Jimmy, genius.
Just sitting in there. I remember watching them work, and I was like, "What is going on in here?" They loved Quincy Jones, right?
Yes, they did.
And they would just be in there. They would dress like him in the '60s, right?
Yep.
They'd be sitting up in there. I was sitting there like, "What is going on?"
Yeah,
they're dope.
Between Jimmy, Dorian, and Albert, I was just like, I am not worthy. Like here I am calling myself a little singer, and I'm looking at these three, and I'm like, all right, y'all, like therapy. So yeah, during that time, I was in college, and I was getting a business degree, but ended up getting signed through Michael Malden and Sam Sapp to Columbia.
Wow.
In a girl,
those names.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
They were very prevalent at the time, and Sam Sapp had signed Will Smith before us. So we just knew we were good. We were like, oh, we got the golden child.
Oh, he showed y'all, didn't he?
Right? The A&R rep from, Life. And so we just knew we were set up. And then, as things always happen, a new regime came in, unseated Sam Sapp, and then we took our project. We met with Jimmy Iovine and all these other labels, and people loved it. But, things happen. It didn't land with me.
You said it was a group? It
was a girls group.
Girls group.
One of the 90s girls group, yeah.
Oh, with the black dress and the heels and the red lipstick.
Girl, you had the lip liner.
Oh, to your love. Ooh.
Don't walk away, boy.
That's a baby.
But because our music it wasn't R&B specifically. It was more singer-songwriter, which was ahead of the time for that. So yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, but three black girls.
Did I know any of the other two girls?
You probably didn't, because they plucked them out of obscurity.
Child. So I from to Columbia Records, but Steffi, you always just been on your grind, like.
Yeah.
So you did commercials, Mercedes-Benz, VH1, Lowe's, AT&T, Walmart, baby. I needed to find you. I may have did a commercial or two, but I needed to be with you, baby.
Cherie, when you talk about spreading yourself thin, that would be me. No, but I just, my hustle is real. What'd you say?
Babies call it hustling today. Get your grind.
My hustle is really real, and I mean that's what it has to be in this field. As a creative, I love to be at home simply shedding on guitar and songwriting. I'd love to have that luxury, but that's not what it's been.
So you're still doing commercials now?
So yeah, it's interesting because I have an agent for jingles. So they separately represent me for just voice work for jingles. And that has been great. I landed an AT&T commercial last year, and it was great because I recorded it right here from my house.
Ooh.
Oh.
Yeah, we gonna be talking after the show. Praise him.
We are. No, we are. But no, it was good because I was in a really rough period of my life. I'd had some health challenges, and the audition came in. I recorded it here at my house and ended up getting like a slew of commercials through AT&T, which was a blessing to my soul.
And you work from home.
And I did it from my kitchen.
Want to take care of you? Won't he will?
You don't even understand. I know you do understand.
I
So
do.
that blessing came in right on time too, because I was in the recovery from surgery and couldn't work. So look at
I
God.
tell me a little bit about that because I saw a post. I would follow your post and like send you love and smooches. And you something going on with your back. What happened?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a long story, but I'm gonna keep it really, really brief.
Okay.
Essentially, I was born with a spinal defect I didn't know about, and what happened was, and my brother actually genetically has the same defect. When I about 4 years ago, I got out of bed. I was on tour with Barbara Streisand,
Mhm.
couldn't walk, and what happened was my spine had collapsed essentially.
Shut up. Woo, baby. God's
Yeah,
grace. Come on.
it had basically collapsed in on itself, and so it was weird because you'd look at me and you couldn't see anything, but I was living in the kind of pain that makes you want to kill yourself. And so if I moved the wrong way, my spinal nerve was being like toyed with because these bones were all in weird places. So that was about a 3.5 year endeavor where I thought my life was over. And like I said, I got this AT&T campaign. I was still hustling, still trying to move forward. I was single. I was lonely. I was sad, and
All of the above.
all of the things. And about a week and a half after surgery, my jingle agent, I had done this audition before surgery, and he called and said, "You got it." And I was like, "Well, he will." So, yes. So
Yeah.
that's what I do with jingles. But then also, I have an agent here in Los Angeles. My jingle agent's in New York. My Los Angeles agent now represents me for on camera, and that's new for me. I had never
Mm,
ever dipped my toe into those waters until the last few years. So
that's amazing.
that's been a hustle too.
Yeah, I remember we've crossed like be it in the States or on tour. I think I told you last time I saw you, which we really try not to have a conversation because what happens before what happens is that we end up talking about everything for the
Before we
show and I
get to
forget
it,
some stuff. Yeah, so I said, look, beside
yeah.
them, we were talking before. We ain't gonna do that in this one. I saw you in passing at Wango Tango, and I
Mm.
was with Jennifer Lopez, and you were with the Black Eyed Peas, or was it Gwen?
Gwen
Gwen
Stefani.
Stefani. Gwen
Yep.
Stefani. Yep. And Will Smith was there on
I
roller skates. Remember
remember
that?
that.
On
Wait,
roller skates. He was
I
on
don't
his crew was on roller skates. Anyway, let me get this.
they be doing the most.
Right. But here's the thing. You said, "Oh, I remember you and Charlotte talking about, yeah, Sheree, you should try to move to, you should be bi-coastal." And it was very intriguing, but I had like 4 kids at the time
Of course.
and going through like a crazy divorce. It was just like back and I couldn't like,
Of course.
but it said, but you actually did it. Like you and
I
y'all
did.
actually moved and was
Charlotte
like
was
doing the
my
thing.
roommate. Yeah.
Oh, is that what? Oh yeah, y'all was killing the game.
She was
Killing
yeah.
the game.
We were in Brooklyn, and I had moved to New York to get a master's degree.
Mm.
It, girl,
No, you just went to school in the middle of. I thought this was something you did before.
no.
Bang.
So after I got my first degree, I had gone on tour with Justin Timberlake, Britney Spears, and was working with Gwen Stefani. And Cherie, I burned out at the tender age of 31. I'd already burned out of the music business. And I was like, you know what, Lord? I want music to have more meaning than just the stage and glamour. I'm going to go back to school. So I went back to New York to get a master's degree in something called music therapy. And I had sworn off the business, but then it kept coming for me. And so, as it will,
What's yours is yours, baby. Don't hate favor.
in Jesus' name.
In your case, it's all fair.
Oh,
I don't like that it ain't fair. It's totally fair. What's for you
I
is for
know.
you.
People say favor ain't fair, but sometimes you work for it.
No, God, what God says goes, period.
I receive
No
it.
man can shut. Let's not even
No
start
man
to preach.
can put us under.
No man can shut.
No
Yes,
man
ma'am.
can shut. So I was in New York, and then at that time, Jennifer Lopez had come a calling.
Ah,
So at that time, I was like, well, I guess I'm not out the game.
no, you're not out the game.
And at that time, Charlotte was like, well, let's be bi-coastal and let's just get all the work. And I was like, well, I'm here for that. And
Yes.
yeah, so it was during that time I started working with the Roots and working with Jimmy Fallon, getting my master's degree in something called music therapy. And now I'm actually a board certified music therapist.
Wow, that is incredible.
Yep. So I've been doing that part-time as well during all of this.
Well, tell me a little bit about the Tonight Show, because you work with the Roots.
So while I was in New York and I was out there, I was going to James Poyser, who's a very dear friend, and I've known all of
him.
Right?
Amazing. Amazing. Yep.
James is a legend.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
And I've known all the Roots guys since like the 90s because we had toured together with Macy Gray. So James sees me out there hustling, and he's like, well, we need some singers to come on, and, you know, can you fill up the backgrounds, hire some people for a couple artists? Sure. So I started doing it in 2009, and I've been doing it ever since, working with NBC. I've now worked with Seth Meyers as well. And I basically fill the singers for basically the building at 30 Rock. So it's great. Whenever very meaningful to me because I like putting people on to great work, good people, awesome. Great people on to great work.
That's so awesome.
And so I have a beautiful network of singers in both New York and Los Angeles, and sometimes
and in Texas,
and in Nashville, definitely in Leander, Texas.
Leander, Texas. I'm just saying, like
the bugs out there. I got the
horrible plug.
Yeah, Texas. Like so.
No, seriously, go ahead. No.
Yeah,
this is incredible.
It's a lot. It tires me out just talking about it. But yeah, so I've been doing that, and yeah, I love those guys. I love the Roots guys, and I love the family over there at Fallon.
So if you're contracting, then that means, because there's a lot of people that they want a background singer, they don't really know that. So it's important that you were AFTRA and SAG-AFTRA, who's now actually combined, which is great.
Yes. It's great.
Over the years, because it used to be one or the other.
It's great.
So it's just a lot of things, knowing how to fill out forms. If you are a contractor, it's a lot of work. It's not just going to sing.
No.
You know, and it really can be beneficial. Do you feel that it's changed a lot for you? Because maybe it has not for you, as far as like what they pay these days, or do you just stand your ground? I know there's some artists that just stand their ground, and they'll just like, I'd rather not even work if you can't pay me what you used to. How do you feel about that?
Well, when we're discussing contracting, everything is on that union scale, so there's not a lot of negotiation. It's just the TV rate. But what contracting has taught me, number one, is how to be a better employee. Because when I'm contracting, I'm essentially the boss.
Yep.
So I know what I'm looking for, and I know what I need, and I can tell who's giving it to me. And so that has taught me how to show up in a better way for the people that I work for, which is a very valuable lesson, number one. Number two, I have always been of the mind that when I work with an artist, there's a bit of a sliding scale. So if I'm singing with Shantae Moore, as I did for quite a few years, I'm not going to charge her the same thing that I would charge a Fleetwood Mac or, you know, or a Cirque du Soleil even. Two different entities, and I have
name
to
the babies. Y'all hear these babies? She naming. Name the babies. Let the babies know.
The babies live.
This ain't no small change. Artist.
But if you're with someone and you know that they're, you know, at a level, you should get your rate, and you should never ever undermine yourself. I am of the mind I'd rather be home than be somewhere giving my time and my life. And when I show up, I come hard. So if I'm going to do that, I really want the value out of that experience, and I think that's fair. And even though it's a hard conversation to have, really, I believe that it can be. You have to obviously be diplomatic, but I believe at the end of the day, the people you work with respect you for respecting yourself. So that's my mentality. And also having a child really gave me that sort of unction. When my son was younger, just like you, Cherie, I wasn't going to show up nowhere and sacrifice my time with my child, and you're paying me beans. Like, that's just not. So that I always had that sort of motivation. Like, I will stay home because I need to be with this child. Much more importantly, on your gig. So yeah.
Oh yes. Wow, that's amazing. I have learned over time. There's some like young producers that I will cut a break for.
Sure.
Just some of them, depending on, if I get a feel of their heart. There's some that are trying to get over, but then there's some that's just like, hey, you just want to be a blessing to, and you just want to pour into them just to give them that experience. And it definitely comes back. But sometimes I struggle with the worth and the price sometimes when you actually just want to help someone and give them that experience of working with someone professional. So I've been a couple of times.
Well, and there are labors of love, right? You're like, you know what, I believe in you, I see you, I'm showing up.
Yep. So your first gig for you too, as I was, Kenny Lattimore, were y'all together? No, y'all weren't together.
Believe it or not, my first gig was Diana Ross.
How come it now? Get me together, baby. Get me together. Tell me about Miss Ross.
So funny. Well, it wasn't that big of a deal, but yes. My very, very first gig was Miss Diana Ross.
Come on. I know your mama was like on 10.
Well, you know, my mom and dad are so conservative, and we're not an entertainment family at all. Yeah, we're not that family. So my mom and dad were just sort of like, all right, you know. I mean, this is amazing, but okay. I just don't think they knew what to think. But they sent me off with Diana Ross, and then I came back, still waiting for my album to come out. Was working with Gordon Campbell.
Did you go to Howard too?
Did I what?
Go to Howard too. I'm like, if I find one more person, I feel like I really missed out.
I am not HU. No.
Everybody like
HU people get on my nerves. No, I'm just playing.
They still make you feel like we're over here, you're over there. You can kind of sit with us, but then okay.
They are so about that Howard life, and I love it.
But hey, Gordon.
Hi, Gordon. We love you. You're a genius.
Again.
But again.
Gordon Campbell, y'all follow that brother. And get his new project. He got a project out.
Please get his new album because it's incredible.
Ain't no shameless plug on that one.
And his daughter is amazing.
Yeah.
Another genius.
What is her name? Is it Megan?
Morgan.
It's been like I ain't seen her in like she was a baby last time I saw her.
Genius.
Okay.
So yeah. So long and the short of it is Gordon. I was recording with Gordon. Somebody had said, "Oh, this girl has a new album coming out. You should get her in the studio to do some demos." I'm recording with Gordon, and Gordon stops and says, "What are you doing Thursday?" "We're doing an audition for Kenny Lattimore. You should come down." Went down, auditioned with Tina from Mary Mary and Angela May, my dear friend to this day, and we all got the gig and went around the world with Kenny Lattimore. So that was great.
Yeah.
First gig, and that's what I would consider my first real
down to earth and so cool.
Kenny is
just
a
sweetheart,
a great human.
Still to this day, I saw. Oh yeah, I saw him not too long ago. It's crazy. Yeah. Wow. So you got Britney Spears, Brian McKnight, who is
for 4 years. That was just the top of the top for me. She is so amazing to me.
Who?
Sheryl Crow.
Sheryl Crow,
yeah, yes. I was with her for 4 years. And and then went on and did Cirque du Soleil, the Michael Jackson Immortal Tour. Amazing. Our cast comprised 85 people. And it wasn't just, my normal traditional gig is going to be a band, some musicians, some singers, the artists, maybe dancers. We had acrobats, contortionists, jugglers, clown, we had everything. And we were a traveling troupe of misfits. And we went from Taiwan to New Zealand to Quebec. We went all over the world together, and it was just a really amazing thing. We kind of joked that we were in superhero summer camp because everyone had a special skill. So it was great. I did that with Taku Hirano.
Wow.
And Greg Fillinganes.
Games on the keys. Oh my gosh. Yeah, you were you were living the dream. Now, so was this was anybody on? Now, no. Greg Fillinganes played with Michael, didn't he? Or he played on the record, right?
So what Cirque did,
as well.
I don't know that Taku did, but he probably could have. What Cirque did, they were so genius with this, is they hired Michael Jackson's band essentially, and
Wow,
so mhm.
that's great.
So it was mostly everyone that had a relationship to Michael Jackson, and we joked that I had a relationship through Sheryl Crow, who had a relationship to Michael Jackson.
That's your pass.
That's my resume for the Michael
Or your
Jackson.
favorite once again. Come on now.
In Jesus' name.
In Jesus'
And
name.
so it was mostly everyone that had done, I believe, the Bad Tour with Michael.
Yeah, that's amazing. That they even still got to work. That's great.
Exactly.
That's amazing.
Continuing the legacy, yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That was a good time.
So, you did the Game of Thrones live, baby. That episode, that whole series. Had me on my seat.
Oh, yeah.
Every year. Okay? It was just the
Love
go-to
show.
So tell me about, you did the live experience. So tell me about it.
So I was a late responder to Game of Thrones. I did not watch the show in real time, but while I was out with Fleetwood Mac, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get on this little Game of Thrones train, and I started binging it on the road to keep myself occupied. Fell in love, loved the show. Had no idea that maybe 2 or 3 years later, I was going to end up working with the show's composer, and his name is Ramin Javadi, and he, speaking of geniuses, just little tiny baby genius, just oozes music and great ideas. And so we went out, and it was really cool. I feel like Cirque du Soleil kind of gave me the experience to do a Game of Thrones type show, because it is non-traditional. So we had all of these screens that projected the highlights from the show.
Mm-hmm.
But then you're sitting there watching your favorite moments, Red Wedding and Reigns of Castamere. And
Oh
all
my
these
gosh,
things.
the Red Wedding.
Red Wedding.
So you guys are doing this live?
We're doing it live, and then you have an entire orchestra sawing away violins, cellos, the whole gamut. And then there's a band of 8 of us, I believe 8 of us, that traveled around to each city. We'd pick up a local orchestra and a choir, and then we had 3 percussionists, a violinist, a cellist, a keyboardist, myself singing all the lead vocals, and then like a woodwinds player, and then the composer, Ramin. And we went around playing arenas. We did Madison Square Garden, United Center.
We got a clip of you, baby. Let's play.
Oh boy,
let's play that, baby. You better give us all kind of life in that dress, baby. The long sleeves, I'm into it.
I mean, there were 5 costume changes in that show. It was
So
a
what
lot.
scene was that?
So that was Reigns of Castamere, and that is when I believe Peter Dinklage is Lena Headey and Peter Dinklage are coming into where did Jon Snow live again? What was his home?
Look.
I know, I can't remember. But they were coming back
Winterfell?
I think it was Winterfell.
Winterfell?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I think so. There's a lot to remember.
I'm happy to even get that close.
That was actually good, because I didn't even have that. But yeah, they're like arriving back to Winterfell, I believe. And the show just takes you through a journey. And I've never worked harder, but it was an amazing experience.
Crazy. So you did Disney's Wrinkle in Time?
Did, yes.
Girl, come on and work for the babies.
For that. The composer turned to me and he said, "So did you get my reference? Did you get the Sade song?" And I was like, "I'm sorry, what?"
Right. Did you say Sade, like one of my favorite singers? What?
I was like, "Run that back." He was like, "Yeah, like Sade, the reference. She like did a reference." And I was like, "I'm singing Sade's song?" He was like, "Yeah, she wrote this song and you're going to sing a version of it in the film." And I literally was like, okay, I'm done. I can quit now.
You could
This,
totally quit.
I can walk away. Like
Wait,
you
like
just put me in the shadow of Sade.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Did you see when Psy Anita Baker called Psy's name out in the middle of her concert? Like I would have just,
Oh,
Psy, we love you, we see you, baby. Stand up, Psy, child. You had to get the white sheet for me. I would have just passed out.
I would have just been on the floor crying. Oh, Anita,
Right?
I love you, Anita. I mean,
So that is one of them moments. Like
those
you sang one of Sade's songs. What?
these are those moments. Like I got to sing Sade's song in the film. It was called, I believe, Queen of the Flower of the Universe or something like that. And so yeah, that was just, I got so many chills. So that was great, and that was a highlight of my life.
Well, here's the deal.
Barbra Streisand, yes.
I saw 20 Feet of Stardom.
Yes.
Now listen,
I forgot about that.
no, but I didn't, because me and Tony Scruggs actually went to go see this together. And I'm looking and I'm like, okay, I love everybody. I said, where's the people that represents us? And I said, okay, good. I could breathe when I saw, because there's so many of us, right?
Yeah.
And someone asked me, like, why weren't you on there? I said, no.
Yeah.
We had a rep. We had our people. Steph was on there. She got it. She got it.
I love you. Thank you for that. That means so much to me.
Child. I was like, we need somebody, because I know I was rocking with a whole bunch of people.
And
somebody.
if I had a note for that film, that would have been my note, because the people that they highlighted were divas, legends.
Yes.
But there were a lot of working people who really, really are background singers who they didn't get to know and get to interact with and interweave into that story. Judith Hill's amazing, but she's not really a background singer. I'm sorry.
Yeah, she's an artist. She's an artist. Yeah, which
exactly.
I've had the experience to work background for her too. But Steph, just go ahead, and I'll call her Steph.
Go for it.
Just go ahead and just embrace that. Again, what's yours is yours. Your time is your time. So I'm just grateful. I was just refreshed to see that there was somebody that actually could touch and feel, and that was doing industry life with, yes, that was representing our time, the 90s and the 80s.
Yes.
I'm just,
yes.
God said it was you. You did
and
it.
that was another amazing thing to be a part of. I was just like, Lord, I can quit now.
No, you can't. You're not finished. Your work is not done, my love.
I'll receive that too.
Because you got your back healed, the spine is girl. Oh, I remember when I saw that. I didn't know what was happening, but all I knew is that you were back.
Yep.
And I was just so happy and thankful to see that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was. I actually did the entire Game of Thrones project with my back collapsed.
Are you serious?
I did. And that's why it was so hard. But you know what? That's that hustle. Yeah.
Yep. My back is hurting right now, and I'm still.
Oh my goodness.
Still gotta go.
Do you struggle with that?
I do. So I'm gonna go probably see a chiropractor, but I've been in a lot of pain lately. But I have some extra quarantinage from.
Don't we all?
Child.
Don't we all?
I'm like, where'd you come from?
I mean,
that could probably be it. Yeah. But I did start working out.
Good. I mean,
so just take it slow. So let's get to your synth folk band, Public Art, baby. I love what you're doing with that. It's almost like you're painting art with your voice and your creativity. Just another
Thank you. I partnered up with another genius by the name of Jan Osbear, and he is.
Hi, Jan.
Jan, we love you.
Thank you for letting us borrow.
He's a funky white boy from Britain.
I can tell you.
Do you know Jan Osbear played at City of Refuge with Gerald Haddon?
Then he's dope. Hello.
That's what I'm saying.
Did he get that microphone that Gerald got? Did he get it from him? see that microphone Gerald got?
No, but I can only imagine.
It's one of them toy microphones that
Oh,
he sing with the
yeah.
reverb, and then he said one to Erica Campbell. I'm like, y'all ain't about to wear my Jerry curl with this mic and this preaching. They be going all the way in, and I'll be cracking up. It's funny.
I grew up with Gerald in church. I've known his antics my whole life, so he is a fool. I love me some Gerald. Hi, Gerald.
Hey, Gerald.
But I met Jan through Gerald, and Jan is he's incredible. So we got together, and I love what you said about painting art, because the thing is with public art is that I grew up singing in church, so I grew up singing runs.
Okay.
And I don't think people know I can sing like that, because I don't really pull that out.
Let your resume speak for you, baby. You can sing whatever you want. I don't care what the baby sing.
You're right about that.
The runs ain't getting them checks. I'm just saying.
And so that's kind of how I've looked at it. It's like, I love singing runs. I grew up singing runs for sport. You know, when you grow up singing in church, you're like, if you can't do a Stokely or a Kim Burrell, you ain't doing nothing.
It's true.
That's how I saw it. But then I got older and I got more mature, more seasoned.
And learned that Barbara Streisand doesn't care. Sheryl Crow doesn't care. I'm just.
And that's my point. Pitch, tone, control, vibe, you know. So when we got together to make this music, I was like, you know what? I could sing, but we honestly set out to make passive listening music. And by that, I don't know if you've ever listened to Little Dragon, or you're familiar with like a Stereo Lab, or it's like ambient music. And what you do is you put it on and you play the entire album. And
like Swing Out Sister.
Yes.
Love Swing Out Sister.
It's just very it's a vibe. And nothing ever is intrusive. You just put it on and you want to hear the whole thing. And so we set out to put something on that people would listen to the entire project and love, and just feel like it was like sonic art. And my voice is not meant to necessarily stand out and go, you know, turn them off. Like, you're not supposed to hear me. You're supposed to feel me. And
that's right. I love that.
Yeah. And so I really love the project. You know, I think when people listen to it, it's like, okay, well, she can sing, but can she sing? And it's like, well, I can, but that's not what this project is about. And so I'm a personal fan of this project, and I love being able to say that. Wow. I mean, I know me as an artist. I've been a part of projects where I was like, oh, Lord, what was I thinking? You know.
Right. Well, here I have a Maritha. Hey, Maritha. I had to laugh because she said, "Runs ain't running you a check." Exactly. Hello.
I love runs. Like, believe me, yeah, it's fun. But
yeah,
like nobody really, like, when you get into certain rooms, they don't even know what to do with that. So I found that it's a lot harder for me to sing straight than to sing with runs.
Well, let me tell you, I have a story about that. I'm going to jump in on that. Just being from Chicago, and I was in like the Soul Children of Chicago. So it was just the pressure, because we had the Clark sisters. There was Stevie Wonder, of course. But the Clark sisters was coming out, and they were kind of shifting some things for us. We had the commission and those types of things. And they were running, so that would be cool. But then it just became this fad, and you had to do it. So I remember... I stole a run from Kim McFarland. She know I did too.
Yes, Kim McFarland. Yes.
I had to practice, you know, one thing, and then I put a little thing on it. But Kim was the one that basically gave me, you know, the vibe to try other things with your voice. But to sing big, like, I know I shouldn't do that. To have this big voice is, if I didn't have, I could do it, but I didn't enjoy it.
Yes.
Because I knew I had been singing with people like Janet and just mimicking them. So that helped me. Janet was the one who taught me to use air, and then
yes,
there's your principle. I don't know if I'm in the right key, but she taught me to use air. I met an opera singer in Fresno, California, and she said, you know, her name was Lisa Archie. She said, you know, you really don't have to sing loud all the time. And she's the one that led me to, she gave me permission to just be and sing soft and it'd be okay. Then she taught me to give myself permission to use that voice. And that voice, that straight air, is what landed me
all the work.
And I'm gonna tell you, I had a decision. There was about time in 2001. It was 2000, yeah, 2001.
Hmm.
Brandy is, Joy Campbell. There was
Yes.
this Kim Burrell record that was out, and all the singers gravitated to this one Kim Burrell
Ow.
record,
Yes.
and you just had to know. And I listened to it, but I had to
Keep
make a
saying
decision,
it me.
right?
Yes, that one.
Over and over again. That one.
Oh,
Right. I was like, okay, I could study this and do that and just be riff crazy, or I can go over here and get this other money that I was getting with David Frost and all them. So I would go do my Britney Spears. Oh baby, baby, how was I supposed? I went over there, right?
yes. Yes, you did.
I went over there
That's
instead. So
exact.
I didn't grow. Here's the thing. So I didn't grow
That.
uh, with that. I didn't grow in that area. It's not, so it's something that necessarily I shy away from, but and I can do, but I'm not. So the kids today, the babies want to see you.
Yeah.
And you ain't doing this. But right
But
now, where we are, they're gonna get this soul. They're gonna get this Aretha.
but you know what's funny though? Honestly, Cherie, I think that was more of an era like 80s, 90s, and people have shifted away from that.
Right.
Because
We're coming
right,
back.
they're coming back, and it's
They
more
about
about
to
tone
right.
and vibe. Yeah. And look, we're gonna big up you. We ain't gonna talk to me without big up at you because you. I know people that are watching know you already, but I gotta say, was it Derek or Kenneth or somebody let me hear an ISO of what you did on BB or Cissy Winans album? That
Oh, oh, well,
that
that's I
I
am.
am that I am, Cherie. My God, you're my hero. You really are. Your voice is so pure and just that tone is so warm.
Thank
I'm
you.
a fan of you. So we cannot have this moment without me just
Uh,
bowing utterly down because
we are not bowing down. We bow to one person, but I will say thank you. And I am
yeah.
so grateful for just touching people's lives. It's
Oh,
funny. It's funny that you should mention that because the single that I have coming out, I actually use that run that woo. I actually sang
yes.
myself. I sang it because it's my runs. I don't think I have to pay for that. But
Your
I really
instrumental
sampled it and pitched it down. So it's like in my opening single that's coming out on June 30th.
Cherie, thank you for bringing
That's
that
still
back
showing
because
stuff
these
on my
kids
show.
need to hear it.
Yeah, but I took it. I used it. I used
Oh, that
it.
makes my heart happy.
Yes, yes.
These kids need to know.
Hey,
Yeah, you're amazing.
thank you. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Well,
Yeah.
I still got to talk a little bit about, if you don't, I'm gonna go back into the public art. So how many albums do
Yeah.
you guys have?
So we've actually done just two EPs. And on the first, so it's funny because the first one, it's more singer-songwriter. It's very folk. The second one becomes more synthy and more informed by kind of electronica and ambient music. And if we're gonna do another EP, it's gonna be like the second, which is more ambient. But the first album, I'm actually really proud of too because it's more about songwriting. And I really, really, really put my heart into the songwriting of that first album. I love the song Trains. I wrote a country song.
Come on, child. Country is hot.
I love Americana.
Really out here.
I
The
love
lyrics like
Americana.
it's like crazy stories. I need to study that.
I mean, country is just the best songwriting. It is like
It
between,
really is the
right?
stories.
Folk,
Story.
Americana, and country is where all the songwriting is. And I'm really a true fan of songwriting more than anything. You know, people have put me out here to sing because I got fluffy hair and probably a good look or something.
And still
And
look 16. Amen. Bless your heart and all your parts. Continuously. Amen.
well, we work at all of it. But I'm a songwriter really at heart. And so I feel like on that first EP, I got to really show, like, hey, I'm a writer. And then I wrote, obviously, the second EP too, but the emphasis was more on vibe so much than an actual unit of material. Like, this is a song, this is a vibe. So
Not this is a song, and there is a difference.
there is a total difference.
The difference. It's funny. I'm looking at the pictures of your album, and I just see art. Like that, I see a love it. I could just, I'm definitely going to check these albums out.
Thank you.
Definitely. Y'all make sure y'all check them out too. I wish he was here. This looks amazing.
He's up the street. It's funny because him and the studio are like right up the street from me.
Are you serious?
We are. I love him to the end of the earth. We're a really good pair together. We create well.
It's great. It's great. I feel that way about QB.
Okay.
That's the producer that we've been co-producing, and we really sit down and just dissect stuff. It's just natural, and it's easy, and it's a mutual respect. And I think he's like a millennial,
wow, Cherie.
Yeah, and he respects where I come from, and I respect where he come. I listen to him, and I say, well, let me play this bass line. He'd be like, okay, well, go ahead. Well, maybe we should try this beat. We just, it's great. So that's what I'm looking at when I see y'all. I haven't heard it yet, but the little bit that I saw, just the way he walks across over to you in the video, I'm like, that is so cool. And you just give it, like, you got the slow-mo walking, and your little move. And you're just all in your element, Who's the drummer?
So that is a guy by the name of, oh Lord, let me blank. He plays with Charlie Puth with Jan, and I'm blanking right now.
It's okay. I just wanted to give him some love.
Darn it, he's
all the videos
so
amazing.
Good, and he's so cute.
Yes, because you're single. Tell the babies you're single. Are you single?
No.
You're not. Oh, well, okay.
I'm kind of single.
Kind of single?
We're in the process of figuring that out, but I've been dating someone. I've been single for about 10 years.
Right, but
probably why I got all the work done.
Stevvi and I had kids in the 90s. We had a son, and mine is 29, and yours is
20. He'll be 29 in 2 days.
29. Mine will be 30 this year. So we were on the grind, but we was mamas. A lot of us were mamas. Yeah, and a lot of us weren't.
I know.
A lot of the singles weren't. They couldn't really relate to our struggle and the balance. So when people say, "Well, Cherie, where have you been?" I'm like, "I got 6 kids. What you talking about? Where I've been?"
Oh, hey.
And blended families and just, there's a whole life. So anyway, I remember when we did connect, we had really good conversations. And one of them was at Gordon's house, actually, at the studio.
I think I remember that.
Yep, and I had just turned 31, I think. Yep, but anyway, we were talking about kids and working. We were both tearing it up back then.
We were both what?
We were both tearing it up working.
Well, and it's really it really informs your approach. I mean, there were times I remember once, and this is going to sound stupid, but like one time Gwen Stefani was having a lamb trunk show at her house. And she was like, come to my house. I want you to come to this fashion show. And I was like, I really want to go. But I've been doing your gig all week. I need to go home to my son. And I mean, moments like that, who wouldn't jump to go to her house to a lamb trunk show? But I was like, I can't, I got to, my child matters. And I was doing Justin Timberlake's promo for the first album. And I remember, the money wasn't quite where I wanted it to be. And I was like, you know what? I would give my left foot to go on this world tour with y'all, but I'm not going to sacrifice my son. So I'm going to take it to the house. Peace out. Y'all enjoy that. Yeah. And you just have to make the hard choices.
You do.
And I'm glad I did.
Yeah. Gordon used to always tease, like he see me, I'll go out every once in a while. And that was probably the week I probably did not have the kids. But baby, he'd be like, what? Real? I just went about that life. I couldn't. I couldn't.
But you know what's funny is I really do believe in my heart, Cherie. That's why a lot of people took you and maybe me more seriously, because we weren't out at the club, we weren't on the scene, we showed up for the work. That's it.
All day.
Play, professionalism only. So thanks to our children.
Yep. Yeah. Well, no, look, we were talking earlier. I remember I bought one Louis Vuitton bag one time, and that was after maybe I did a huge gig, and I still felt guilty. I was like, one purse, like one designer purse, and I was just, like, with 4 kids, like who has time for that? I just I couldn't do it. So
I always felt pressure from Hollywood.
Yeah.
To have the designer luggage and the Louis backpack, but I was like, y'all, you can do that. I have different goals.
Yep.
I'm trying to pay this mortgage.
Come on,
Every, every
homeowner.
time. And
Hello.
that
So
you've got to be fearless in whatever your goal is. It's
yeah,
hard. It's
yeah.
hard.
I saw a picture of you and Woody not too long ago. It looks like the relationship's good. He's a grown man now,
He is a
and
grown man.
just the love that he has for you. Um, you know, so you could tell you did a good job.
Thank you
And
so much.
of course, I know it takes a village,
It
but
does.
just so blessed to have been able to see the world, and build legacy for your son, which is
Yes.
amazing, which what it's all about. So uh, let's see, we have church and family and finances. Tell me
Hmm.
just a little bit about finances. How you had some advice. You were talking about management tips on finances and contracts and social media and things like that.
I would love to talk about finances. You forgive me because I'm trying to find this boy's name. I want to make sure I credit our drummer because his name is Ray Marshall. I believe that's his last name, but he plays with Charlie Puth and he is
See,
smart.
that's cool. Hey, Ray Marshall.
Yes, yes. So I want to make sure I credit him. But finances. Yeah, I would say that I think as a creative, one thing this industry taught me is, and it sounds funny, but it's real. I would treat every paycheck as if it were my last.
Very good. Because that's
And
not how you're raised from what you see in the industry.
no, no. And people be out here, they be fronting. They got the Gucci sneakers
Yep.
and it's like that's cool, but that mindset is not going I'm just it's not going to make me wealthy. And when I was in my 20s, I read this book that changed everything for me. And
Which
I
one?
don't know if you've ever heard of this book, Cherie, but it's called The Millionaire Next Door.
I have two copies that I am going to visit.
Oh my goodness. I
Yeah,
don't know
I
if you
have
ever
them.
spent time reading them, but I just voraciously consumed those books in my 20s. And what it taught me was it almost doesn't matter how much money you make, but it's what you do with what you get.
It's true.
And if you put it in the right places and you respect what the properties are, like if you respect what money is and how it functions, it'll take care of you with a much less work.
Yep.
So I would not put money in certain places, but I would put it in places that build assets. And
Very good.
it's carried me. There have been a couple times in my career when I looked up and I was on gigs that I was like, what am I doing on this gig? Because I know good and well I don't want to be here. But because I was good with,
I mean, there are some
you
like
have
that.
to take them sometimes.
You do.
But I feel like I was able to be more choosy because I wasn't so leveraged in my bills. I wasn't so close to the edge. I had savings and I could go, you know what? I will do this. I will not do that. And so that was the gift that being really, really frugal gave me.
Yep.
And I would advise everyone that's a creative, pretend like every check is your last. And that sounds like almost like a mentality of deficit,
Yep.
but it's actually not. It's
Yep.
actually really building you up.
There's a lot of things that you don't know financially, and I think that's why I'm getting a second wind.
Yes.
Because I'm literally starting over. Like I had to go to work at Starbucks.
Yes.
Seriously.
Say that.
Yeah, I had to, and it was no,
Girl.
it was an amazing experience because it taught me that we have to have that. It teaches you to come out of the Hollywood mindset. You have to have
Yes.
that work ethic for your own career, and a lot of us don't know that. So I'm building, and now I have just this platform just to help others, right? And even the young kids, I want you to treat your brand like it's a business and know these things. Yep.
That,
So I don't mind saying it. I have to. With all the accolades, there's a difference. There's a certain way that some of the singers that I roll with the way they moved. So yeah, like the Charlene Carmens and stuff. They knew how to manage, and get degrees and things like that. I didn't know that you all went to school
mm-hmm,
to get degrees. So there's a difference. And
mm-hmm.
there's a
Yeah.
difference.
And to him that has an ear, let him hear,
Let them
right?
hear. Come on, babies.
Not everybody wants to hear that good word, that hard truth. But success is really in the little moments and the things that people don't see,
That's
and
right.
in the little tiny actions that you take over and over again. And it's not about giving the illusion of wealth, but it's actually about really truly building wealth. And so, I didn't always have the coolest clothes, but
you didn't need them though, because you was cute.
well,
she could put on her jeans and her t-shirt and be all good.
I was all about
shake her hair a little bit.
That thrift store.
So. Yeah. Oh, tell me about it.
Seriously.
Child, the queen. Can we take a couple of questions? Just a couple, because I know we almost. Yeah, this is a good one.
Losing time.
Let's see. Do we have any?
Hey, well, I can't see anything on Facebook.
I can a little bit here. My baby's out there, Paris.
Hi,
my daughter. Yeah, Paris is out there. They're just waving.
And then
Kim, shout out to Kimberly McClinton.
Hi.
Apostle Kimberly McClinton.
Hey, Apostle.
So what happens is that people catch it after it's done, and they come in and they'll throw questions in there, so you can go in and just kind of, if you take a moment like tomorrow, go in and say hi, things like that.
So you do archive these episodes?
Yeah, I do, and they're actually on my website too. After and YouTube.
When are your 2 singles coming out?
Well, they didn't know about the second one.
Oops. First single coming out.
Be Good comes out June 30th.
Oh, that's my birthday.
Oh, yours too. I have a friend, Ruth Luke. Her birthday is today. Speaking of birthdays, happy birthday to Pastor Andrea Moore. It's her